Well, good morning. You know I love it when I get to pick on my own kind, and that is when I get to pick on people from Oklahoma, these nasty ass bastards out of Muskogee, Oklahoma. PG little girl, I saw you on Prayer Garden. Looked like you were coming home from work or the store or something. You are beautiful. There's Melanie, new to Discord. Oklahoma, I guarantee she is pissed about this. So just a minute. In Oklahoma, we're riding high on a super magnificent OU win. Then we're brought down because of scum. Total scum. Total scum. And it pisses me off to no end. These people, every time they pop up on the news, I about lose my damn mind. Okay? They are not worth anything. They are not worth the air we breathe. I'm talking, these are disgusting ass people. They infuriate me. I mean, they infuriate me. But first, let's tell everyone hello. Okies, come in and represent. Susan said they give white trash a bad name. They do. They do. They give Andrew Hiltz a bad name because, you know, him and Candace are working hard over on their channel, as they call it, to continue being proper ass white trash. I'm telling you, they do. Sorry, I was having a problem putting something up. So again, we went from this where everybody said
I have got Michigan beats Oklahoma in Norman.
All right, Coach. Good. So I'm picking Michigan.
Whoa! Trey Young, what do you have, buddy?
This is our second time playing Michigan. The last time we played them, we all know the result.
So we went from this where many people, including Pat McAfee, were saying we were going to lose to Michigan, and we had a spectacular win. Play. Play, idiot. Play. 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 I don't want to subscribe. Play. 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 Hold on. I'll be right back. I'm back.
Wow. All right, Coach. Good. So I'm picking Michigan.
Whoa! Trey Young, what do you have, buddy?
This is our second time playing Michigan. The last time we played them, we all know the result. And we ultimately won the championship at the end of the year. And for me, I'm having that same feeling. Like I'm having that same type of vibe.
Boomers! Boomers!
Soon about 50, man. Let's go.
The North is a much more physical team.
They're a much more tough team. And Michigan's coming in here with Bryce Underwood, who's a 45-year-old, 18-year-old, who might be the greatest freshman quarterback this sport has ever seen when it's all said and done. With that being said, that Jack kid made that kick over there for $300,000.
Yep.
Trey Young is back in his hometown getting incredible reception.
Heard it.
Oklahoma gave me this beautiful Stetson cap. And whenever I look at Venables, I look at a guy who's got a quarterback and an offense coordinator who know how to play offensive football. He's going to lock down a defense. Give me Oklahoma.
So again, we had a great weekend with the huge win with Oklahoma. And then, of course, we're reminded of this shit. Mallory said, I knew that lion-ass grandma knew more than she was saying. You better believe it. Here is a little recap straight from Instagram.
Has just given birth to a child likely belonging to her stepfather. On August 16th, the 11-year-old girl gave birth at home with zero medical assistance. She was then rushed to the hospital due to hemorrhaging, and then EMS had to cut the umbilical cord. The alleged father of the newborn, Dustin Walker, and mother...
Did you hear that? They had to call an ambulance. All of the rumors that I was told and ran with are false. She was hemorrhaging. Guess who her maternity coach was? You guessed it, Michelle Justice. And she has got picture after picture after picture after picture of her granddaughter on there. So the cat's out of the bag. Everyone knows who the 11-year-old is. Now, the latest court documents are Dustin pleading not guilty. How that happens, I don't know, because he's saying that this child was coming on to him. Anyone have an issue with that? No. Grandma was there. Grandma knew.
Sherry Walker, had initially been charged with felony child neglect. But after an investigation from the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation, it was revealed that the girl's stepfather, Dustin, was a 99.9% DNA match to be the father, and the charges were amended. Dustin was arrested and charged with child sexual abuse, and Sherry for enabling child sexual abuse. The parents now also face 6 counts of felony child neglect. On top of this, the couple has 5 other children who are all living in deplorable conditions. A preliminary court date has been set for November 24th, and they are being held on a $100,000 bond. We will give more updates as we receive them.
Disgusting asses. Disgusting. I'm telling you, I have had it. Me, myself and I, and just me, one of the main leaders of the mod squad, combed through Michelle Justice's Facebook. Even found Cherie's. And it's disturbing. Not because they have anything on there that would make you think a child is being harmed, but because of posts like, God doesn't have enough time. That's the reason he invented grandmas. Grandmas are angels that don't have wings. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And I promise every child in that house was abused. Remember, Dustin and Cherie got married in 2018. They had been together for a while. He was basically introduced to who they call AG, and that's all I'm going to say, when she was 4 or 5. And then at 10 years old, she's pregnant. And this is all the grandma had to say at the time. She's got more to say now.
Nobody, not even the neighbors. They say things, but they don't know what was going on.
But the whole time, Grandma knew, and you all called it. Grandma is full of shit.
Tonight, we're hearing from the grandmother of an 11-year-old girl who gave birth over the weekend. Thanks for joining us tonight at 6. I'm Naomi Kidd.
And I'm TJ Eckert. The Muskogee County District Attorney's Office charged the 11-year-old's mother, Sherry Walker, and stepfather, Dustin Walker, for child neglect.
2 News Oklahoma's Isabel Flores listened to the grandmother, who believes that people have the wrong idea about her family.
No, we don't. No, we don't. We've never had the wrong idea. We've never had the wrong idea. We totally understand. And it is amazing that that baby girl didn't die. Hemorrhaging, ambulance, hospital, Cherie shows up, acting like she had no idea what was going on. The first rumor was that she took the baby to the hospital, which now actually makes a little more sense, and said that she gave birth. And then when they realized that Cherie didn't, they called authorities. They called the ambulance that went and got the 11-year-old and took her to the hospital for severe hemorrhaging, and still had the umbilical cord hanging out of her, and still had not delivered the placenta. Look at that vampire love. Peas in a pod. Wait, where's the SA charge? There's not going to be an SA charge. It is a totally different charge. It is a child rape charge.
I went to Dustin Walker's house. The assistant district attorney said the 11-year-old lived there with him, her stepfather, and biological mother, Cherie.
Thank you.
Her next-door neighbor shouted to me nobody was home, so I talked to her instead.
This is getting to me, and I've talked. I said, they're not doing nothing. They're not helping them kids, and I've called.
While I spoke with Cheryl Atkins, I noticed this lady filming across the street, but I continued on with the interview.
They have no running water for the last 2 or 3 years. They have dogs in the house. They have cats in the house. 6 children.
When we got to the home, there was some trash in the yard, a broken window, and a bungee cord holding the door locked.
The oldest is 11, and everybody else is younger.
Once Atkins and I finished our conversation, I approached the woman who's filming.
Hi there.
I found out her name was Michelle, and the 11-year-old's grandmother.
We didn't know this was happening. None of us.
How do you think your granddaughter got pregnant?
She keeps telling us that it was the little 12-year-old boy that I used to keep. I babysat. She keeps telling everybody that it was him.
Well, she really screwed the pooch when she did this interview. She said she keeps telling everybody it was him. Now, hold on, Grandma. You are not allowed to see her. You're not allowed to see her. So did you try to convince her it was a 12-year-old while you watched this poor child struggling to give birth to an over 7-pound baby? You denied her a doctor. You denied her and the baby prenatal care. You denied them everything. You took up for your daughter and your perverted scumbag son-in-law over taking care of your granddaughter.
They got curious. That's all I know.
I spoke to Muskoge's Assistant District Attorney, Janet Hudson.
It's our understanding the child had not seen a doctor in over 1 year.
They keep saying that we knew about my granddaughter's pregnancy, and we did not.
First got word of this case, what was your initial reaction?
I was horror-stricken to find out that it's an 11-year-old little girl who's given birth and that she had no medical care and she had no one to be with her.
This is getting to me, and I've talked. I said, they're not doing nothing. They're not helping them kids, and I've called about the dogs, called about the children.
The Assistant District Attorney tells me a paternity test has been conducted, and she expects the results within 2 weeks. In Muskogee, I'm Isabel.
And Dustin Walker is the biological father. Let's get to that.
In a very disturbing case out of eastern Oklahoma, it is making national headlines.
Muskogee, Oklahoma.
An 11-year-old gives birth inside her home in Muskogee with zero medical care. Both the child's mother and stepfather are in jail. And now they face even more charges after new results of a DNA test reveal who is the father of the baby.
News 4's John Hayes talked to investigators today. And John, first of all, this is ghastly, man. An 11-year-old girl. How sure are they of this latest development being correct in the case?
Ghastly is the right word, Kevin. Very serious allegations here. The Muskogee County District Attorney's Office tells me a DNA test says there's only a 0.1% chance the child's stepdad isn't the father of her baby, but prosecutors are now dropping the hammer.
It is horrific. Horrific allegations made against this Muskogee County couple, Dustin Walker and Cherie Walker. Both of them arrested earlier this month after their 11-year-old child gave birth in their house, and they claimed they didn't know she was pregnant. Muskogee County
Court documents say they all knew. They all knew.
Assistant District Attorney Janet Hudson says,
I mean, the 11-year-old child was obviously raped. She cannot give consent.
Thank you, Janet. Anyone that says to me that some 10-year-olds just get horny or some 11-year-olds can act a little slutty. We're not talking about a little girl that wants to act older than who she is. As Janet, the DA in Muskogee, said, an 11-year-old cannot give consent. I don't care what Dustin says. I don't care what Cherie says. I don't care what Grandma says. The proof is in the pudding. The girl almost died. Hemorrhaging. Cherie tried to act like the baby was hers. Can you please help this baby, clear out the throat? I gave birth at home. Oh, okay. And they realized real quick, Cherie didn't have any, no. So they send over authorities and they find a hemorrhaging 11-year-old. Now, I don't mean to speculate. I'm just looking at their pattern of behavior and what they did to this child for all this time. They would have let her die, and she would have been thrown in off some mountain in southeast Oklahoma, and they would have just hedged their bets that nobody would have asked about her. They're that sick. No, 11-year-olds cannot consent. I don't care what anyone says.
Whomever this person is.
Our affiliate in Tulsa spoke with a woman who said she was the 11-year-old's grandmother.
We didn't know this was happening.
Who wanted to go by Michelle about who could be responsible.
She keeps telling us that it was the little 12-year-old boy that I used to keep. I babysat.
Regardless, Hudson says they tested the stepfather, Dustin Walker's DNA, and on Saturday, the results came in. Hudson says the test did more than keep him in the running. It found with 99.9% probability he is the father of the new baby.
That is the allegation, and that is the report from OSBI on the DNA.
Both parents are facing dozens of charges tied to the new mother and their 5 other younger children.
Dozens of charges. Count 1, sexual abuse of a child under the age of 12. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Neglect. Felony. And now Dustin's has been escalated. You ask, why? You say, why, Brooks? Why, Brooks? Why? Because child rape, R-A-P-E, I know I'm not supposed to say it on YouTube, but I'm really upset, is punishable under death in the state of Oklahoma. This nasty bastard could get the death penalty. And guess what? I fully encourage it. Yes, I do.
Dustin Walker is accused of child sex abuse and neglecting 6 kids. Cherie Walker is accused of enabling his abuse and neglecting the kids as well. Hudson says she just keeps going back to the little girl who shouldn't have to be a mom.
She would have conceived when she was approximately 10. The trauma that she has endured, I cannot fathom. And the community as a whole is outraged with what has occurred.
Tough. Hudson.
Well, here's the thing. Pedos have a strict code of conduct. Believe it or not. They have some kind of code where if it's someone else's child, I can do what I want, but I won't hurt my other children. It's disgusting. And I don't know in this situation who I am more mad at. Dustin, Cherie, or the grandma. Oklahoma, does anyone know if her bio dad is in her life? Great question. I've only asked it 1,000,000 times in every Oklahoma group I'm in, and I can't get an answer. Because I would think the real daddy would be beating someone's ass. And I would start with this one, who could have made a simple phone call at any time and prevented everything.
We now have an update on the case regarding an 11-year-old in Muskogee who gave birth earlier this month.
Nobody, not even the neighbors, they say.
Look at her nasty ass. Nobody, not even the neighbors. They say things, but they don't know what was going on. But you do, Michelle Justice.
Things, but they don't know what was going on.
I'm Isabel Flores with 2 News Oklahoma. You just heard from the 11-year-old's grandmother, Michelle Justice, who we spoke to in an exclusive interview last week. She has just been placed under arrest for child neglect. This comes after it was found through a paternity test that the 11-year-old's stepfather was found to have a 99% DNA match to the baby she birthed.
I live next door. I have witnessed them go back.
This woman is such a sweetheart. She really is. And you can see she takes care of her property. She was concerned about the children. She knew that Michelle was bringing them water, had power cords going over so they could use her electricity. Why didn't Michelle just go to them and say, look, I'm going to get everything turned back on. And in the meantime, I'm going to take the, at the time, 11-year-old to the doctor because I think she needs to be checked out. Some people say there was a lot of elder abuse going on there with Michelle. I don't know how I feel about that, considering, Prayer Garden's in the house. Prayer Garden said, wow, another Candace and Grandis case. Oh yeah, you're going to shit on this one, PG. You're going to shit on this one. What I have been hearing is there was elder abuse going on. Okay? They were taking her water, taking her electric, taking her food. Dustin does nothing, was doing nothing but raping her granddaughter. And grandma just acted like nothing was going on until the day came, August 16th, 2025, when this little girl, actually she went into labor very early on the 15th. It took her a very long time to deliver. Hence why she was in the hospital for over a week because of severe hemorrhaging. Odds are she will never be able to carry a child again. So fuck your elder abuse. She doesn't look that old to me anyway. And I feel bad for this lady that had to sit there and watch all the shit.
Back and forth to their mama's house across the street. She has provided for their needs.
You hear that? She just provided for their needs. She was in and out of the house, and she just provided for their needs.
House across the street. She has provided for their needs because they have no running water for the last 2 or 3 years.
Last week, I spoke with a neighbor who lives next to the house the 11-year-old and her siblings were removed from. She believes the entire family knew what was happening. The child's stepfather, Dustin Walker, and her mother, Cherie Walker, were also arrested last week on child neglect charges, according to an...
Worse than that, child sexual abuse, a child under the age of 12, escalated to child rape, and then felony for providing, not providing for the other children. Cherie, to be quite honest, might be out in 10. He, that piece of shit, could get the death penalty.
Affidavit filed in Muskogee County. Authorities say the parents failed to provide medical care for their 11-year-old daughter, who was 36 weeks pregnant and delivered inside the home. Both parents claimed they didn't know she was pregnant. The child had not seen a doctor in over a year. The district attorney's office confirmed Justice faces 6 counts of child neglect. The affidavit states Justice lived across the street from her granddaughter, saw her almost daily, and was in regular contact, including the day she gave birth. It also states Justice cared.
Let's look at this. Michelle Justice is a caretaker of 11-year-old AG. On 8/16/2025, at approximately 15:58 hours, which is almost 4 o'clock, AG gave birth to a child at 704 South 3rd Street without any medical help. Her grandmother was with her. Michelle Justice lives across the street from AG and was in regular contact with her. Michelle Justice saw AG almost daily, including the day that AG gave birth. Michelle Justice was also a caretaker for 5 other children under the age of 11 that lived in the same home. Michelle failed to report the pregnancy to authorities. They were going to cover this up and pretend like the baby was Cherie's. Now, here's a kicker for you. Cherie is due to give birth any day now. So what a grand scheme. You go to the hospital and you say, I just gave birth. Honestly, it could have been a believable story, because just because you give birth doesn't mean your belly looks like Cindy Crawford's. Okay? We still have a pooch. It takes a long time for the uterus to come back in, you know? And when they were like, oh no, no. They call the authorities, they go to the house, and they find a hemorrhaging 11-year-old. A hemorrhaging 11-year-old. And I'm telling you, their plan was to pass the baby off as Cherie's. And then they were just basically, I don't think they would give a shit if that little girl had passed away. Cherie especially, because she was probably jealous of the attention that her daughter was getting from Dustin. Melanie, I wonder if they will keep both babies together. You mean Cherie's baby and the 11-year-old's baby? Or do you mean the 11-year-old and the baby she delivered? Because I really wouldn't blame the 11-year-old if she wants to leave all this behind her. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. I just know Department of Human Services in Oklahoma has a lot on their plate because there's a bunch of kids for adoption. A lot of kids for adoption.
For 5 other children in the same home, but failed to report the pregnancy.
I think Grandma thought she was doing what was right to help those kids. But what parent allows that?
In Muskogee, Isabel Flores, 2 News, Oklahoma.
So Grandma up the creek without a paddle. Up the creek without a paddle. Lauren said, I'm sad for Liam and this baby. It's a child's mother. I don't know what you're talking about, hon. Someone's got to fill me in. All right, so let's get back to this case. I'm sorry for being ignorant. This is from Troy King. He's covering this case as well. Love his content. Check him out. Look at those 3. They're in the corner of your screen. Dustin, Cherie, and Grandma that helped them cover up the raping of a child, her own grandchild. And don't forget, on her Facebook, she would put things up all the time like, God doesn't have enough time. That's the reason he invented grandmas. Not everyone wears capes. Some are grandmas. Being a grandma is the best job you could ever have. Post after post after post after post. And look where she is now, in the damn slammer.
Subscribers for sending me the story. And also, keep these stories coming. Now, you all, can anyone please tell me what in the hillbilly hell is going on inside the great state of Oklahoma? Well, we have a story of a stepdad getting his 11-year-old daughter pregnant, and at the same time, his wife is also pregnant. Now, this story is very shocking.
Cherie is due any day.
So I want you all to bear with me. And if I say anything wrong, just please forgive me, because this story really takes the cake. And I know some of you all may find it appalling, but at the same time, this type of stuff happens every day around this country. Now, what's really more shocking is the fact that all the adults in this situation and involved in this 11-year-old girl life that is, failed this 11-year-old girl, no matter who they are, whether it's the neighbor, whether it's the mom and the dad, of course, the stepdad, and also the grandmammy. Yes, the grandmammy. And grandma, you could have kept those comments to yourself, but we'll dive deep into that later on throughout the story. And now, family, I want to ask you all one question. How long does it take for a woman to give birth? Does it take 32 to 36 weeks for a woman to give birth, as in like full term?
She was 36 weeks. And tomorrow afternoon, we're going to talk about Lauren Snelling out of Kentucky, because people keep arguing that she miscarried. It was a stillborn. Well, listen, they're not going to do a forensic microscopic autopsy on a stillborn. No, they can figure out real quick. A miscarriage doesn't happen at 38 weeks. Okay? Now, this little girl, 11 years old, yes, she was 36 weeks along. Now then, that is hard enough. However, it took her a very, very, very long time to give birth. A very long time. Her mother, every time she has a child, she's at Muskogee Regional with morphine, Demerol, epidural, ice chips, TV, you name it. But her 11-year-old daughter had to give birth like some damn cave woman.
Because this 11-year-old girl carried the little baby all the way to her full term. Now, you would think by this child being pregnant for roughly 8 to 9 months that somebody would have seen something, somebody would have said something. But just to give you all a little backstory and more info, the 11-year-old girl also has 5 other siblings, with one on her way. Because remember what I just told you, her mom is also pregnant by, yes, the stepdad. The stepdad goes by the name of Dustin Walker, along with the mom who also arrested, Cherie Walker, and along with the sorry grandmammy who was also arrested after she came on the news trying to throw the little girl under the bus, Michelle Justice. And now Dustin Walker along with Cherie Walker share 5 kids together. The 11-year-old girl happened to be his stepdaughter. They have a child who's 2 years old. Yes, they have another child that's 4 years old. Then they also have another one that's 6, 7, and also, yes, a 9. So you can tell Dustin and Cherie been very busy. And now, family, you would think that by a man already having a wife and also having this many children, he wouldn't have no problem being around children. But at the same time, notice the child that he took advantage of, that he sexually violated, happened to be his 11-year-old daughter. And that's why I tell y'all and I emphasize to you all, be careful who you bring around your children. But it's one thing not to know something that's happening, but at the same time, it's something else when you do know something and then try to cover it up. But like that old saying goes, what's done in the dark shall come to the light. So it don't matter what you do behind closed doors, sooner or later, somebody's going to find out. Now, before we dive deep into the story, you would think that, number one, a stepdad would have made better decisions. And also, even if the stepdad didn't make better decisions, the mama would have stood on business and called the cops on his ass, no matter how many children you have. So not only should the mom be punished, but also, more importantly, the stepdad along with the grandmama. Because grandma, you know damn well that girl did not tell you what we're about to hear. Anyway, let's begin.
Stunning new details in a very disturbing case out of eastern Oklahoma. It is making national headlines. An 11-year-old gives birth inside her home in Muskogee with zero medical care. Both the child's mother and stepfather are in jail. And now they face even more charges after new results of a DNA test reveal who is the father of the baby.
And now, family, what makes this story so sad is not only the fact that the 11-year-old girl just gave birth to her stepdaddy child, but also they say the living conditions inside this nasty ass house, because you can look outside this house and tell that the inside is nasty. It's this simple. Look here. If you ever roll by somebody's house and it look nasty on the outside, That's a good indicator of what? Yes, somebody said it. It's nasty as hell on the inside also. Now, the neighbor had told the news media that not only do these children not have running water in there, the water has been off in his home for 2 to 3 years. And also, the house is full of dogs and also cats. So they can only mean one thing. This house is a total mess, just like Dustin and Cherie Walker is a total mess. Now, on one hand,
he's right. He's spitting facts. Prayer Garden said, yep, all the asses need to be life in prison. I have a feeling Cherie's probably going to get like 10 years. I don't know. Considering all the felony counts, it depends on what judge they get, if they do it consecutively or concurrently. Grandma could be out in 10. Dustin, from what I am hearing, he could be facing the death penalty.
You have a mom who's a stay-at-home mom with 5 children. You would think that the mom would get off her ass and clean the house. And also added to that point, you have a stepdaddy, all he does is lay up and make babies with the mom. He can get off his ass and do what? Help clean up also. So it's no excuse for this house to be in those type of living conditions.
It's like Dawn and Candace 2.0. You have nothing all day to do. Or like Lily and Jack. That whole situation. You have dick all to do all day, and you can't bend. Well, we know that someone in the house can bend over. That's Cherie, because she's constantly knocked up. But you can't pick up trash. You can't clean. You can't get a wipe and wipe down your counters. You can't do anything.
You have to ask yourself, what type of people live like that? The same type of people who will sit there and get their own children pregnant. Those type of people. Those are some nasty ass people. Anyway, let's continue.
The Muskogee County District Attorney's Office tells me a DNA test says there's only a 0.1% chance the child's stepdad isn't the father of her baby.
Horrific allegations made against this Muskogee County couple, Dustin Walker and Cherie Walker. Both of them arrested earlier this month after their 11-year-old child gave birth in their house, and they claimed they didn't know she was pregnant.
And now, family, after hearing what the reporter has stated, do you really think that these parents did not know their daughter was pregnant? Of course, the stepdad knew she was pregnant. You know why? Because he's the one got her pregnant. So let me ask you all this today. Do you think the mom, Cherie Walker, didn't know her daughter was pregnant by the stepdaddy? Please answer that for me. Because I guarantee you, this lady knew that her daughter was pregnant by this man. And what type of woman does that? What type of mom let their stepdaughter get violated like that? It didn't have the nerve and the audacity to cover it up. But the next clip I'm going to show you all will show you exactly where she get this mess from. Let's continue.
A woman who said she was the 11.
I am so sick of these crazy ass women. I really am. On Friday, we were talking about Kendra Licari, who in her messed up mind really believed that her daughter was some extension of hers. Cherie did too. She's my mini-me. We do everything together. Okay, my mini-me, OJ is knocking everything down. That's the noise. This is disgusting. Disgusting.
Year-old's grandmother.
We didn't know this was happening.
Who wanted to go by Michelle about who could be responsible.
She keeps telling us that it was the little 12-year-old boy that I used to keep. I babysat.
And now this is the part that really takes the whole cake of the whole situation, other than the fact the stepdaddy getting an 11-year-old girl pregnant. It's the fact that you have the grandmama, yes, the grandmammy, who came on camera, and the news wasn't even trying to find the grandmother. The news did not go to the grandmother's house. No, the news was at Dustin and Cherie Walker, nasty ass house, and the grandmother seen them over there, or maybe somebody called her and told her that they was there. So the grandmother, Michelle, decided to go over to the house and tell this hot-ass lie. She starts it off by saying they did not know. So let me ask you once again, family, do you really think this family did not know this 11-year-old girl was pregnant? And also, do you think they did not know that this 11-year-old girl was pregnant by the sorry-ass stepdaddy? Think about that. And the nerve of the grandmother to try to throw her daughter, her granddaughter that is, under the bus. Notice one thing. She never said nothing bad about her daughter, Cherie. She never said nothing bad about her son-in-law, Dustin, trifling ass. Because she also said, as you all see the screenshot, that her daughter and son-in-law are
They've made my daughter and my son-in-law a monster, she said. They are not. They love those children. They love them. That's what Michelle Justice said. You know, the lady that said, God doesn't have enough time. That's the reason he invented grandmas. Not all heroes wear capes. Some are grandmas. Not all angels have wings. Some are grandmas. She is a sick ass. Fundeski said Justin was on a TikTok complaining about his food stamps being reduced, upset with the SNAP program. Who is Justin? Well, call your social worker or do what they say. I don't know. That's crazy. I don't know who Justin is.
Are not monsters. They're very good people, and they happen to love those children, as you all see. Now, what type of person would go on camera and also tell the news this hot-ass lie? Think about that. But also adding to that point, the grandmother had the nerve to want to tell the news people that her granddaughter told her that she was pregnant by a 12-year-old boy she used to babysit. Do you all really believe that? Do you really believe this 11-year-old girl told her grandma that she was pregnant by a 12-year-old boy she used to babysit? Think about that. And what type of person take their ass on the news and lie on their own granddaughter? And that's the reason why, after this video had aired, they came and arrested her ass just a day or two later after she did this dumbass interview. That's a damn shame. And the only thing you had to do, Michelle, was just go on by your business. The news wasn't even trying to find you. They was not looking for you or anything. So you decided to come over there.
Hold on, Fundeski. Are you talking about Dustin Walker? Because I don't think there's not a Justin in this story. Are you talking about Dustin, the stepfather that raped the 11-year-old? He was on TikTok complaining about his food stamps being reduced. Well, welcome to America. Welcome. You know why? Because your fat ass probably didn't deserve a nickel. You know why? Because you should have been out working, Dustin. And it tingles the fuck out of my ass when able-bodied people are getting these letters saying you must volunteer, go to school, attempt to get a job, or go to work to continue your benefits. So you're saying it's Dustin that did that? Well, he's got shit to do.
And volunteer a damn lie. That's a damn shame. Who in the hell volunteers a damn lie? I guess that's what they do in Oklahoma. And my people in Oklahoma, do not get mad at me. I'm just making a point. Let's continue.
Regardless, Hudson says they tested the stepfather, Dustin Walker's DNA, and on Saturday, the results came in. Hudson says the test did more than keep him in the running. It found with 99.9% probability he is the father of the new baby.
Now, after hearing that, all that what the grandmother had just told you all, as you all heard, is a hot-ass lie. Because once again, the DNA test confirmed that Dustin Walker was the father of this child. That's a damn shame right there. And Dustin, you already got the mama pregnant again. You and the mom already has 5 children together. How many children do you need? But ask yourself this: what type of low-down ass dog would sit up there and look at a 10-year-old girl and lust after that 10-year-old girl, then go as so far as to get her pregnant, and the mom don't do a damn thing about it, but sit there and stay silent and bust her legs open and get pregnant? Think about that. Who does that? And that's why I told you all in the beginning of this video, that everybody that's involved in this child's life failed this child, even the neighbors, because the neighbors said once again that she called the police several times to go over there and check on her children. But guess what though? You're supposed to tell the police exactly what you see. Take video footage, then go down there. You get me? Because I'm sure that you can't get in trouble for filming them if you're trying to save these children. So not only did Dustin and Cherie Walker and also the grandmammy fail.
No normal person is sexually attracted to a child. Okay? We see a kid, they're like, oh, they're cute, or look how they're acting. Kids do the funniest things. Sarah needs clarity. Oh, it turns out Michelle is Cherie's mother. And Michelle was there when AG was giving birth. Let's take a minute and tell Fun to Ski, get well soon. She just had hip replacement. They did absolutely nothing to protect AG. I mean, nothing. Nothing. If Cherie had any lady balls, she would have kicked Dustin out and called the cops and let the chips fall where they may. But these fucking dirtbags that sit around and do nothing but pervert our society and get paid for it, got to go. Got to go.
The 11-year-old girl, but they also failed the other 5 children, the 2-year-old, the 4-year-old, the 6-year-old, the 7-year-old, and the 9-year-old. A house full of kids. And you mean to tell me that none of you all could get off your ass and clean this house? And Dustin, you should have had your ass at work somewhere. And guess what? You would have been too tired to sit up here trying to mess with somebody's child. Anyway, let's close up.
She would have conceived when she was approximately 10. The trauma that she has endured, I cannot fathom. And the community as a whole is outraged with what has occurred.
And after hearing what the district attorney, Ms. Hudson, had to say, I am outraged. And I'm sure after hearing this video, a lot of you all is outraged. So let me ask you all this in closing. What do you think should happen to Dustin Walker and also to Cherie Walker? Now remember, Cherie Walker is also pregnant. And also, what should happen to the grandma? Because grandma, you know damn well, once again, that 11-year-old girl did not come and tell you that she got pregnant by a 12-year-old boy, used to babysit. But the nerve of some people, family, this shows you the nerve of some people. They always trying to hide what they do. And then when they get caught, guess what? They try to lie about it. So to the grandmother, once again, in closing, all that trying to convince us that Dustin is not the father of this child, that's a damn shame right there. How dare you come on the news and sit up there and throw your own granddaughter under the bus? This is a child. And this is the main reason why some people say some people don't need children. Because look how you all do these children. You failed all these children, not only the 11-year-old girl. Everybody in this household was failed, even the damn cat and dog. Think about that. Anyway, you all let me know what you think about this story. If there's anything I may have missed or misinformed, which is not my true intent, please let me know in the comment section, or you can
Holy hell. Holy hell. And I saw Kat mention the big beautiful bill. Fun to Ski said Dustin was on TikTok bitching about his food stamps. I promise between Dustin and Cherie, with all those kids, they probably had $1,200 coming in. The DNA told the truth. Dustin's child. Okay? Disgusting. Disgusting behavior. And while this is going on, he is on the internet complaining about his food stamps. You know, there actually are jobs out there. I'm telling you. Hell, he could have walked out the front door in Muskogee, Oklahoma, and walked to work. There's Orchid Paper. He could go and just stand there on the assembly line and watch him make toilet paper. He could mow lawns. Hell, there's some people that do so much yard work from April to October, they have several months off. In this outrage, oh, I can't buy Cheetos and I can't buy Reese's cups. All right, we're going to have a little fun moment. This is not political. Again, it's just for fun. Nana Rock said, I think in California they put a cap on how many kids you could get more money for. It's like 7. I did not know. I had no idea. I don't know how it works. I have no idea. And I will never pick on anyone that needs help. I won't. You need food stamps? Go get it. However, it is going to tickle my ass when Andrew Hiltz is told, you have to contribute to society before you get your shit. Here we go. I'm going to piss some people off.
Poor stupid Chuck Schumer, the guy. He looks like he's aged 100 years. And I don't like getting into looks. You know, looks don't mean anything, right? When you're in politics, looks don't matter. I look at Pam, I would never say she's beautiful because that'd be the end of my political career. Glory, secretary. But I will tell you, this is the best of all. And they're going to fight me. Like this slob of a governor you have in Illinois. This poor guy got thrown out of his business by his family. I know the family. I was partners with the family. Nice family. I like the family, but he was no good. They threw him out. He's governor of Illinois, and he goes about Trump, we don't need his help. Chicago is the worst. These places are really bad. Crime in D.C. was the worst it ever was. You know, they make up stories. Crime in D.C. was the worst ever in history. And now, over the last 13 days, we've worked so hard. We've taken so many, there are many left, but we've taken so many criminals, over 1,000. I watched a man from Maryland who said to me, I mean, sir, you're the greatest president. You're doing an unbelievable job. What a great job. Governor Moore, has anyone heard of him? He's another hopeful for president. I don't think so. But I met him, and I didn't realize it was on camera. Did you see they caught him on camera? I was at a game, I don't know, like the Army-Navy game or something. And I met him in a hallway. And as usual, you do your job very well. One of these great cameramen had it on tape. But I met this gentleman. I never met him before. Sir, you're doing a great job. You're doing an unbelievable job. Thank you very much. But then he goes on television and says, oh, Trump is a dictator. He's a dictator. And a lot of people have been, so the line is that I'm a dictator, but I stopped crying. So a lot of people say, you know, if that's the case, I'd rather have a dictator. But I'm not a dictator. I just had to stop crying.
Cracks me up. Sarah, these are fake babies. Yeah. Yeah, they are. Yeah, that's really not Trump as a baby. That's really not the Attorney General as a baby. Exactly Walking Dead. The facial expressions. Hilarious. So, Cray Cray said, sorry. That just annoyed me. Well, like I said, it has nothing to do with politics. It's just funny. And Sal said, ha, ha, ha. Poppy Red said, funny AF. Frank was laughing. They are so cute. I can watch that stuff over and over and over. It is so funny. You know, sorry for Dustin. I mean, instead of raping your 11-year-old daughter, stepdaughter, 10-year-old, you should have been out working. But he doesn't have to worry about food stamps anymore or Medicaid or anything like that, because now he has 3 hots and a cot paid for by the citizens of Oklahoma. That's the truth. However, what has happened to AG, the little 11-year-old that was forced to give birth by herself with no medication, no ice chips, not a comfort in the world, she will have to deal with this for the rest of her life. And if the district attorney does her homework and she sees the new laws that Governor Kevin Stitt has put out, he could be sent to McAllister for the DP. Well, you guys are the absolute best. I've taken up a ton of your time today. Sal said, who has a baby? Department of Human Services, Oklahoma. The people that have the baby, I don't know. Sec to no one. Dustin is going to be someone's new girl soon. The minute they find out what he did, he is toast. He's going to get the plunger treatment like Adam Montgomery got. Chrissy said, hey, Brooks, any friends in prison? I don't have any in Muskogee County, but I have a feeling Dustin's going to make some soon. I have a feeling. They're not known for really looking after their prisoners there. So who knows what's going to happen to Dustin? Who knows what's going to happen to him? And just when you think Dustin has it bad, the women are going to tear Cherie and her mama, Michelle, who are in the same jail right now, a new one. Okay? A new one. Because women are vicious on the outside. And let me tell you what, from what I've heard, they're really bad behind the jail walls. Poor Sabrina. She said, I'm so glad I didn't have lunch. Me either. About time for me to go have my lunch, and we have another 2 shows tomorrow. My goodness. My goodness. Are you all bored with this true crime stuff right now? Jean Ellen, this is the best comment of the day. This is a job for Lisa K. Ruitz. She can pen pal him. Well, on that note, I want to say thank you so much for coming back to the show, being amazing friends, being amazing members, being amazing mod squad, and just giving respect to the victims. I will see you back here tomorrow morning. Same time and same great people.